Well, hey guys! Oh my goodness, we have Linda Toupin. I'm so excited tonight. So I can't wait to let you all get to know Linda better if you don't know her. But Linda is actually a retired national, and so they call her an emeritus. But she is, ooh. So I have interviewed a lot of sales directors through this, and I thought, you never know, Linda might have time for this too. And she's so kind to me. So she said yes, which I was expecting that you probably would say yes, but I thought, well, she's getting busier. So I don't know. So we're going to do our normal tic-tac-toe night. I'm so excited. So you guys, my wonderful tic-tac-toe board, you're going to make one of these real quick. The circle below is how you're going to keep track of all your points. And so consultants and customers can do this, you guys. And so if you are watching right now and you're a customer or a consultant, you're going to comment below if you're a customer, you're going to comment who your consultant is and where you're watching from. If you're an independent beauty consultant, tell us how long you've been in Mary Kay. We would love to know that. So as you fill out your little tic-tac-toe board, Linda, I'm going to ask Linda some questions, and she's going to, they're based on Mary Kay, obviously, why she loved doing Mary Kay and kind of her successes in that. And you're going to put in the little squares things that appeal to you. So like, you know, if when I asked Linda what her highest check was, if that excites you, put that in the square. And you're playing against yourself, so it's all good. So make sure that you fill in 3 in a row, okay? So be strategic, okay? And when you get that, you get tic-tac-toe. You can comment below, I got tic-tac-toe, and you get 20 points. Now, if you fill in every square, if you're like amazing and fill in all the squares, you get super tic-tac-toe, and you can put that in the comments, and then you get 50 points. So really simple here to win. And then at the end, you're going to text this to your consultant, send this to her, because you're all going in a drawing for some free Mary Kay. Don't we love that? I love giving away Mary Kay.
I want to play. I'm like getting my pen ready. Like, oh, okay.
So we're gonna ask Linda some questions and just have a conversation. I've got my coffee with I got coffee with Linda. Yep, her tea.
Panera. Yeah.
So we're just going to get right to it. So Linda, how long were you in Mary Kay?
Well, I still am in Mary Kay.
Yes.
But I became a consultant actually April 22nd. So this is my anniversary month, 1982. So it'll be 39 years in a couple of weeks.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome. Did it go fast?
Yeah, that's back when they let you join when you were 2.
That's right. That's right. That's good. Okay, so how many Mary Kay cars have you earned?
Well, you asked me that question, and I had to go read my own bio sheet that I passed out at events, and I really think I guessed on that bio sheet because you do lose track over time. I believe it's between 18 and 22, and for the guests and the consultants who are watching this, it's possible to earn 3 cars in 1 year. You can earn your consultant car, and then 3 months later go straight into one of the fabulous Camaros, pickup trucks, all the other Equinoxes, all the other cars that we have in our fleet. And then 3 months later, you can go straight on into a Cadillac. So there was a year that I did that. And then when you become a national sales director, you either have what's called a 2-year car or a 3-year car, where you drive it for 2 or 3 years. And that's based on the value of the car. So I tend to take the higher end ones that are like $80,000 to $90,000 cars. And so you keep those for 3 years. So it's somewhere between 18 and 22.
Wow, that's a lot of free driving. Like that's a lot of free driving.
Well,
you've driven free forever.
Well, it is. It's really weird to go with other people who are car shopping. That's really stressful. I mean, I because there's other people in my family that have had to buy cars, and it's like, man, talk about a stressful job. It's not fun. There's no fun in that. There's no fun in that. But Katie Ray, the last car that they give you is yours. They actually title it to you as a maritime national sales director. And so I took the Escalade, and oh my gosh, I love that vehicle. Oh my gosh, Katie Ray, y'all got to get one of them because it is huge. It is, you set up high, you can see, you talk about safe for my grandkids. I love it. I love it. And so for those of you who are watching Tic-Tac-Toe and you're writing things down, I will tell you very quickly how I made a decision to earn my first car. because in 1983, there wasn't a car for consultant. Now, if you become a Mary Kay Beauty consultant after watching this tonight, you can actually earn a car in your first month or two. I mean, that's how fast it can happen. And so I was in the audience. They wheeled out a yellow Forenza, okay? And I pulled out my checkbook, okay? You know, that was the times when we didn't have debit cards. So I pulled out my checkbook, I opened my register, and I'm sitting in the audience, and I quickly go back and say, okay, this is how much I paid for a car insurance each month. This is my repair bills, because unless it's a new car, you're gonna have some sort of repair bills. And and here's my car payment. And I thought, dang, I'll have a whole lot more money if I drive a free car. And I thought, you know, I still don't know a lot about the makeup part, but I can learn the makeup part if I can have a free car for my family. So that's how I did it. And there's nothing stopping you from becoming a consultant, immediately rounding up 14 of your family members and friends, ever how many it takes, 14, 16 people on your team, and teach them how to do what you're doing and earn your free car and have a free car by the end of the summer.
So true. People make it so complicated, and you just like made it so simple. I've loved driving free. It's been my absolute favorite thing. New car smell. About the time that your car starts to stink, you get a new one. So
that's exactly right. And especially have kids, you know,
yes,
they start getting dirty.
I threaten everyone in the back seat, like, you drop a French fry and it's going to be a big deal. So, yeah. About the time that French fry that they drop starts to smell, you get a new car. So it's all good. All right. So what was your highest monthly commissions check in 1 month, Linda?
I had to look up that too. I believe it was 53,800 something another. But guys, those checks have gotten much bigger since I was even a national sales director, because of COVID. They aren't taking trips right now, and they're giving people like $10,000 and $20,000 instead of a trip. And so those bonuses are huge. And so that wasn't even all the different bonuses that you got during the year. But I averaged during my last 20 years, probably right around 25 to 30,000 a month. But my highest one was 53,000 a month.
Well, that's a lot of pay right there. That's so for guests, 53,000 in 1 month. Go ahead and give yourself 10 extra bonus points. You put in the comments, what would you spend 53,000 on? Because you know, for some people that's like a year's salary, Miss Linda. So that's really awesome.
Well, it is the average, according to the Census Bureau, the average income for a woman in America at the height of her career. So I want you to listen very carefully to this. At the height of her career in America, the average income is 45,000. Now that means half of the women at the height of their career are more, but half of the women are less. And in this company, we don't care about your PhD or your GED or any initial that you might have after your name. We're looking for the girl who has a strong work ethic. We're looking for the girl who's got a fire in her belly. We're looking for the girl who is like, she used to win. Like when she was a kid, she knew how to win. She knew how to set a goal. She was that person, or maybe that person even today, a job that gives you 110%. That's the girl that does well in Mary Kay. She's an entrepreneur. She doesn't like taking orders from other people. I think that probably answers another one of your questions that you have on down there about.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's so true, because any job I had, I was like, I need to figure out how to be the boss. So yeah, I mean, because that's personality. It's good.
Well, it's what makes entrepreneurs entrepreneurs. You know, entrepreneurs don't like cubicles. They don't like being told when to go to the bathroom or how many days off they get or what time they come to work. They know, they also are problem solvers. They're free thinkers. They're not very compliant people.
Oh, you're describing a few people we know.
A few people.
including ourselves.
Including ourselves.
So how did Mary Kay find you, or how did you find Mary Kay?
Well, Mary Kay kind of found, I guess it's kind of a little bit of both. I was teaching. I was a home economics instructor for grades 6 through 12 in a really small rural school in Southern Indiana. And I was a young teacher. I actually was in the classroom by the time I was 21. And so I was a very young teacher. And the principal came to me one day and he said, you know, the girls in school, they're about 13 to 14 years old. They're starting to wear makeup and they don't, you know, they're not doing a very good job. And we need, you know, a female teacher to work with them. And I was like, dude, I barely can get this stuff on my face myself. I certainly am not capable of teaching these girls, but you know, I lost the argument. So when a teacher doesn't really know her subject matter, she gets someone else to teach it. And so I opened up the Yellow Pages to find someone from a cosmetic company to come and teach. And for those of you who are watching under the age of 30, Yellow Pages is Google with paper. So anyway, there was the word Mary Kay, and I knew, you know, I knew it was a makeup company. I knew they had pink cars, and that was pretty much the extent of what I knew about them. And so I called Lucinda Utley. She came into my classroom. I really don't know too much about what she told my kids, but I do know what she said to me. She pulled this book out of her tote bag. And this is the book you'll get when you become a Mary Kay beauty consultant and you start your business with the $100 starter kit. We have a $30 kit. We have a $100 kit. We have a $130 kit, which I highly recommend. But anyway, and she said, do you like to read? And I said, I love to read. And so I read this book in just like a night or two after school, and she called me back and she said, what'd you think? I said, I loved it. She said, would you like to go to a fashion show? And I went to a fashion show with her, and I met all the Mary Kay people. And as you know, Katie Ray, they're all happy, which is, you know, that doesn't happen in the teacher's lounge in my school. And then the next week they had like a regular, what they call sales meeting. And there was like 6 people there. And these people knew how to win. They knew how to set goals. They were happy. They were cheering each other on. It reminded me of my 4-H days growing up on our farm here in southeastern Kentucky. We milked Holstein cattle, and I had grown up in 4-H. And so that looked like 4-H pins. Those Mary Kay pins looked like 4-H pins. They were started giving out ribbons. I knew how to take my cows to the county fair. I knew how to take Grand Champion. And then they pulled out these things. And I was like, who in the heck doesn't want one of those things? So anyway, she, the way she recruited me, this, you know, today we send you a link and you fill it out, and, you know, it's $30 for crying out loud. You know, you can't even hardly take yourself out to a good dinner for $30. And to get the real kit, you know, it's $130 with all the $450 worth of stuff in it. You know, the way she did it that night, at the end of the meeting, she said, "Did you have a good time?" And I said, "I had a ball." And she said, "Great." So she gave me a piece of paper, which was a Mary Kay sales, you know, agreement to become a consultant. She gave me an ink pen and she said, "Just fill this out. It'll be $75. And, you know, what did I do? I filled it out. Now, I didn't have $75. Let's get very clear on this, because I was teaching during the day. I was waiting tables at night, Katie Ray. I was sponsoring every club they had let me at school, because I'd grown up very poor. And poor only looks good, Katie Ray, in the movies. It does not look good in the real world. And so, and when, you know, people say all the time, well, money doesn't buy you happiness. No, it doesn't buy you happiness. It buys you choices. And boy, if this past year hasn't proven that to you, if you had money to either put your kids in private school or have different choices there, whether it's homeschooling or whatever, you know, your kids were in school every day. So money buys choices. You just wait till you get older and you're dealing with your parents and assisted living at, you know, $8,000 or $10,000 a month, or you get a crappy nursing home. Okay, it's one of the two things. And so money doesn't buy you happiness; it buys you choice. And so that's where my mindset was when I came into Mary Kay. Is I don't know how many jobs I have to have, but I am not going to be poor. And so anyway, I filled it out, and this was before cell phones. And so I had to call the guy I waited tables for and said, "Hey, can I pick up somebody's shift this week? Because I just wrote a $75 check. I don't have money for," because back then, you know, it wasn't automatic deposit. Right. And so anyway, so that was the beginning. That was the beginning. April 22nd, 1982.
Oh, hey, yes, this is your anniversary month. That's so awesome. So tell us a bit about your life, because your life's changed, you know, but like, tell us about your family or what your life looks like right now.
Well, right now I'm living in Lexington, Kentucky. If you don't know, Lexington, Kentucky sits kind of in the middle of the state. We are home of Keeneland Racetrack, Kentucky Horse Park. My backyard, literally, if I walked out with my computer, is a fabulous horse farm. I live in a little development that the backyard is this fabulous horse farm. So there's colts and there's horses out there this morning. My son and his wife just live about 7 minutes right down here by the University of Kentucky. He is a pediatric neurologist, and his wife, Hannah, and them have given me my 2 granddaughters, Ren and Lilu, who are 7 and 4. And then my daughter, Katie, also came in during COVID. She's a singer, songwriter. She's also a Mary Kay director. So she came in during COVID because she was on tour and moved in with me for a while. And of course, that didn't last real long. But anyway, so she found a house right down by Neil and Hannah. This is kind of a Kentucky thing. Okay. We all live here together. But it's really, I mean, I joke about that, but it's really been an incredible blessing because, you know, the grandkids have all of us. And so anyway, and so my parents live about an hour and a half. They're 89 and 87. In fact, one of my, you know, Mary Kay teaches us to make our 6 most important things to do list. And one of my things today is to plan my dad's 89th birthday party. So, and I have 3 brothers that kind of remind you of Larry the Cable Guy. Okay, they're pretty redneck. You know, Christmas at my mom and dad's is who's got the best pickup truck and who can talk the loudest. So, so anyway, so they live near me. They live down by my mom and dad, and life is good. Honestly, I'm blessed beyond measure. Katie Ray, I'm blessed beyond measure.
That's awesome. I love that. It is so fun. You know, my parents live right next door to me.
They do. It's a Michigan thing.
It might just be, yeah. I don't know. It's so funny.
Well, I think on a more serious note, Katie Ray, Mary Kay is all about faith, family, career, that you keep it in that order. And so we draw people to us that's their values. Like their faith comes first in their life beyond everything else. Their family comes second, and then their career comes third. And so if you work out in the real world, out, you know, for other people in traditional jobs, oftentimes that is not your values, or it might be your value system, but it's not the value system in which you're exposed to every day. So what we find is a lot of women who find their way into Mary Kay, who not only have that entrepreneurial spirit, that will to win, that strong work ethic, but they also have values that marry Mary Kay's values. And so it's not surprising to me that your parents live next door to you and that my family lives next door to me. It's not surprising.
True. That is true. Well, what has surprised you most about your Mary Kay journey?
How incredibly rich, not in money, how incredibly rich it is. The quality of my friends. You become like the 5 people you hang around. It's not that I didn't have good friends before. I mean, I wouldn't, you know, people don't know what they don't know.
Right.
But my friends today are big thinkers. They're free thinkers. They're independent thinkers. They're not whiners. I mean, they're problem solvers. And, you know, Katie Ray, I put you very high on that list, not just as one of my offspring directors, but as one of my friends. And, you know, just the way you think, you know, and so I think that surprised me. It was like when I bought the kit, I thought I was buying makeup. Then I realized I was being able, because I think if I can backtrack here for a second, there's a lot of people watching this who have a really strong work ethic. There's a lot of people watching this who have a strong will to win. There's a lot of people in America who have a strong work ethic that are broke. There's a lot of people in America who have a will to win that live paycheck to paycheck. Those 2 things alone will not create financial success by themselves. Because I had all of that and I was working 3 jobs and couldn't write a $75 check for a Mary Kay kit. And so the third ingredient is an unlimited opportunity where you can take that strong work ethic, that will to win, and you can marry it to the starter kit, you know, and then it's like the sky's the limit. And so I think what surprised me was just the power of that. Like I had no idea what I was capable of. I knew I had a strong work ethic, but I never knew. I mean, 18 months after I joined, I was matching my teaching income. 18 months after I joined, I was driving a car to school. By the time I joined in 82, left in 86 when I was pregnant with my son. But in 86, I was driving a pink Cadillac to school. So that's what the power of that starter kit is when you marry it to those 3 things. It's like I had no idea I was capable. And my last words, because I did know Mary Kay personally, before she passed, my last words to her was, how do I thank you? How do I ever thank you for helping me find the gifts that were inside of me? I would have never pushed myself expose myself to new thinking, expose myself to new people, expose myself to different ways of life. Had it not been for that kit, I would have probably had an okay life. You know, I know the women I taught school with, but to be quite frank, they're old and they're tired right now, and they're a little bit bitter. And, you know, it's not good or bad. It's just the facts of life. And so I think the thing that surprised me was just what else was in that kit that I wasn't expecting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think when we join our Mary Kay business, everyone joins for a different reason, right? I mean, some people join, you know, because they need a hobby. Some people join because they really need the money. You know, some people love the recognition and the rewards, you know, of that. And I just think that you get so much more than you realized. As long as you plug in and you participate, there's just so many things that you get out of your Mary Kay starter.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like joining a gym.
Yes. You have to go? What?
There's great benefits.
There's a meme. I know how much you love memes. That I wish I could just drop my body off at the gym and pick it up later. I'll have to find that one for you.
Please do.
So, all right. So what's been one or two of your favorite things about, you know, being in Mary Kay? I mean, as maybe your favorite thing that you got to do because of your Mary Kay business, or
well, I mean, at the top of the list is the travel, because I loved travel.
That's what I was hoping you would say.
Well, I do. I mean, you know, I just last week went on an 8-day trip out west to all the states that don't have a mask mandate. No, I went to 5 different states. I love to travel. I met Mary Kay people all along the way. It was fabulous. Did 3 days of Mary Kay workshops while I was in Oklahoma. I've traveled all over the world to amazing places courtesy of Mary Kay, because as Katie Ray is moving up in her business, her next level is Cadillac. And the next level beyond that is to begin to earn these fabulous trips around the world. And these are not like carry your own bags kind of trip. These are people wait on you hand and foot kind of trips. These are 5-star hotels. And so you get to see a part of the world that most people never get to see, in a fashion most people never get to see. So I'd have to say that the travel piece, just having the freedom to travel, you know, when you own your own business, you don't have to wait for your 2 weeks of summer break or 3 weeks of summer break or whatever it is you've got, you know. And, you know, Katie Ray, you and Paula figured it out. If you homeschool your kids, you take your kids on vacation when the rest of the world's in school, and then you don't have to fight the crowds. Right. You got it all figured out, girl.
That's right. We usually take our trip in the fall when everyone goes back to school.
Well, yeah. It is. There's a huge difference in the experience of a vacation when you're not fighting a line.
Yeah.
And especially right now. I mean, everybody and their brother is traveling right now. So the lines are insane. I mean, even dinner reservations in Lexington, Kentucky is like, you got to book it weeks in advance. I mean, it's crazy. People are, they let the cows out. You know, I grew up on a farm, so if one cow got out of the fence, they all rushed out, and that's exactly where we are in America today. Everybody rushed out.
Everyone's running.
It's all good. People are happy. If people are happy, they're healthy. Okay.
Yes, that's so true. All right, so guests, if you are still here, which you are still here, right? Still here in the comments, and you get 20 extra tickets because you are filling out your tic-tac-toe board, so you get to add 20 more points to the bottom with your circle. All right, so Linda, we've got one last question for you, and then I'm going to wrap it up here. But so tell me, oh, we have both. Let me read this part here real quick. We have both motivated consultants and fabulous guests listening. What would be your best advice to both groups of women who are watching?
Well, I think for the guests who are watching, I think, you know, people don't know what they don't know. And you were a woman of your word. You told your consultant you would watch this, and you did. You've already done more than most humans will do, which is to honor their word. I think that the sheer fact that you're on here has created new creases in your brain. Our life is just a series of creases in our brain, and the way that we move forward as humans and grow as women is we have to expose ourselves to new thoughts and new people. So my best advice to you is just to get the kit. You know, there's another book over here on a bookshelf. I won't reach for it. It's by a man named Malcolm Gladwell. And Malcolm Gladwell wrote Outliers and a whole bunch of other books. But the one that fascinated me was Blink, because he proves statistically in the blink of an eye, you know the right answer. Okay, so right now, either you're like, man, these people are fun. This is very interesting. Okay, it's a $30 decision. Okay, all right. It is a decision you will make today if you take 3 people through Starbucks, okay? It is not a big decision. Now, I do encourage you to get the 130 kit instead of the 30 kit, and Katie Ray can explain that to you. But so I would just say, do it. Just like Lucinda shoved that piece of paper at me and said, it's $75. You have a good time. Great, fill this out. Don't overthink it, because he proves statistically that the longer you wait, the more minutes you take, the more hours you take, the more days you take, you will make the wrong answer. You either know it or you don't know it. Don't overthink it. I mean, I could have gone home and thought, Lord, I have 3 jobs. I don't have $75. What will people think? I mean, I could have thought all those things, but on the blink of an eye, I filled out a piece of paper. For the consultants on the call today, I think, you know, not everybody in the world of Mary Kay gets a Katie Ray. So I think we need to say that. My kids, I grew up poor. My kids, by the time they were in middle school, their mama was making $150,000, $200,000 in Mary Kay. So they didn't know what it was like to be poor. So I shipped them to Haiti, okay, for a couple of summers to work the mission fields, because they needed to understand that America is the richest country in the world and that they can have anything in this country, but not everybody is so lucky. And so consultants who are watching this, not everybody has a Katie Ray. Not everybody has that level of dedication of a leader. And she brings so much to the table. Not only is she beautiful and she's fun and she's wholesome and she's a strong Christian woman who is a great role model for any of you on this call here today, is that she's dedicated to your success in Mary Kay. She has nothing to gain. Guys, if you're not successful in Mary Kay, she does not profit. Okay, let me get clear. Can you imagine taking a job that it's like, in order for the business to thrive, you have to be successful. And that's how this works. And so just don't take Katie Ray for granted. When she gives you guidance, follow it. I was an incredible student. I literally, they said, practice in front of a mirror. I practiced in front of a mirror. They said, write out your script. I wrote out my script. I didn't think the first year. I just let them tell me what it was I was supposed to do, and I didn't question it. And then I got to the place where I could kind of make up my own rules, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, I did not pay her to say that, all that. I'm like, gosh, I'm going to be good for months after this. But I love you, Linda. You're so sweet and wonderful. It's been, I always have said this, and it's so true. I was your only sales director in Michigan, and I'm sorry for that. I should have made you more sales directors.
And I only came to see you in the summer. I went to see her once in the winter and thought, I love you, but I don't love you this much. I was like, oh.
That's where her love ends. The snow.
Well, love ends in the snow.
It's okay. It's all right. But I just think, I was so grateful that, God put Chattanooga where she was so that I could be in the Toupin area. And so this is like such a fun thing that we even can have you be on here with me tonight. So I'm grateful for that. Well, Linda told you all how to get a kit multiple times in this, and I did not tell her to do that either. So there are 2 kit options right now. There's a $30 kit, and then there's a $130 kit. And then there's a $45 sample add-on, which is kind of cool too. We had a consultant do that the other day, and she loved it. She got a ton of samples in the mail. It was awesome. So there are 3 things. You're going to put A, B, or C in the comments. A is absolutely, Katie, I love this. This is so fun. Sign me up. This sounds like a great time. I've heard enough, and it's only $30. A, that's right. Linda thinks you should pick A. B is, this sounds really great, but I may have a couple more questions. You need to take me for a Coke or a coffee and tell me a little bit more. And then C is, I just would like to be a customer, pay full price. I'm really happy there. And yeah, that's good. So A, B, or C, and Linda thinks you should choose A. I love it. So we had so much fun. I love this. Make sure that you send your tic-tac-toe board to your consultant. If I'm your consultant, text it to me. So great. And thank you, Linda, for hanging out with me. You are so much fun. So grateful for you. And glad you're my friend. So
I'm happy to be your friend because in the Armageddon, I'm coming to your house because you have chickens and you have a gun. Okay.